This music, you know what it reminds me of? It's like Hans Zimmer. You remember Hans Zimmer?
Hans Zimmer step?
Yeah, you remember Hans Zimmer. Great.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had some fucking great. You remember the shit from what was it, Inception? Yeah, that one note. That dude made one note like popular. It's pretty crazy. But this one, I'm wondering when it's gonna drop. This fucking no copyright sounds. Last Hero's Dimension. I don't know. It's like a minute in, and I'm waiting on something to happen. I kind of like it though. I like the build up. I feel one. Not too bad. You imagine me saying like, "Welcome to RiotFARM," and then if I had a fader, I could like fade it down. Interesting. Dubstep's such a strange genre. Like, what birthed that?
It came out of the UK, I believe. It was a combination of dub and two-step.
They had all kinds, like even like I don't know if it was UK, but remember krautrock, which I never really got into, but I remember I think David Bowie had a krautrock album and stuff like that.
It sounds German.
Yeah, that's what just more of that European fucking sounds. But
yeah, well, I mean, techno. I think it'd probably be fair to say that techno came out of Europe.
Techno, that's even a crazy term. But yeah, this one's not too bad.
That's a genre right there. Like, okay, cool. Give me some drugs and a light stick.
Yeah, that's very much in the DNA of that style too. Like, if you're not on that shit, you're kind of missing out.
Yeah, it really helps because then it becomes MDMA-zing.
I've never fucked around with it. To tell you the truth.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like it's
psychedelics. No, none of that.
Well, it's not really a psychedelic. Not in the same way that something like LSD or psilocybin would be. It's definitely a mood enhancement. It's more pharmaceutical than that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Feels cool though. It's wild, but you gotta be careful, man, because like there are a lot of reefer madness style horror stories about various drugs. But one thing that you hear about ecstasy that is true is if you aren't careful, you can your body temperature can get super elevated, and like your brain, you can almost like cook your brain in your head. But we're talking about people who are at clubs who are eating ecstasy and going out and dancing for hours. Like, if you stay hydrated, that won't happen because I think MDMA kind of elevates your body temperature anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, so it is possible to do yourself a mischief on there, but I mean, it's not like you're playing Russian roulette every time, unless the person making it doesn't know what they were doing and you get poisoned. But that's kind of a different. I mean, you're no less dead, but it's still you took a different road to Rome that time.
So what was Molly? So you say it's more of a pharmaceutical drug, like synthetic, like
because NDA, and then there's MDMA, and that's method because there's methyl. Fuck. The MA in MDMA means methamphetamine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've seen
and the A in MDA means amphetamine. So like they're upper, they kind of make you get up, but. I think Molly is MDA. I want to say that Molly is MDA, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
That was after my time.
A little, I always heard that one too, and I'm like, what is this, a new name for it?
I think that's probably closer to what it is than anything. It's just a new generation tacking a new name on a relatively old thing.
Yeah, speaking of the new generation, man, that's one thing I wanted to really... I was thinking about the other day. Kylie, my stepdaughter, she was watching somebody play Minecraft on YouTube, and it was this little kid. But the way they were moving through the game was like so surgical. You're like, what if we bred this culture, dude? Where they can just sit there and like stare. I mean, really zoned in. For her to play like that well, it was crazy. Super freaking crazy, man.
I mean, there's a kind of because you can see like a lot of the child prodigies. You can gain a tremendous like mechanical proficiency at something at a very young age, and especially something like Minecraft, which there is a lot of creativity involved. I mean, people have made entire like scale recreations of like game things from the Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, the Middle Earth. I think someone actually made a working computer inside Minecraft by using the things in there, so there is creativity, but there's also, like you said, surgical, it's just, in Minecraft, you mine things, if I'm not mistaken. I've never played that game, but I believe you gather material to build and survive and all that good shit.
Yeah, you go around and whack everything.
That seems to be, a lot of hitting things with pixelated weapons.
I'm about to whack you for some resources. But yeah, that's pretty much what you do, farm resources, and it's actually, I've never played it either. But watching it, I mean, it's cool that you can, like, create stuff. I've gone over here, like, to a few people's houses, and, like, they were totally, really zoned into the game. They were building something with a friend, too. So it was weird, because it was like, hey, you want to come over and play Minecraft? We're social. But at the same time, like, they were just so into Minecraft that they just sat in the same room playing Minecraft together.
That is something that I really, really want to do. I play video games for most of my life. But for the most part, any co-op experience I've had in a game has been old school, couch co-op. And that's amazing and great, but it's not quite the same as being able to play online with somebody and you have your own screen, your own set. I mean, like, imagine how cool it would have been as kids to be able to go into the Grand Theft Auto online, Grand Theft Auto 5 online.
Man.
I mean, that's like a full-scale chaos simulator. You can do anything you want. Not only blow up the entire city, you can go for a hike on a mountain or race scooters down a cliffside. I mean, like, there's just so many cool things you can do. That'd be a lot of fun to do, is, play online with somebody.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine playing, like, because I was from the GTA 3 generation, I guess.
Vice City, San Andreas.
If we had those online, dude, yeah, we probably would have gotten, like, nothing done. This is like the dead end street of the introduce video games and put it up there.
It can be. I mean, it most definitely can be, especially when you get into some of the big developers putting in what essentially is baby's first gambling simulator. With loot boxes and the like.
Yeah, that is. What do you think about free-to-play games, which is a genius market? The game's free-to-play, but for anything that's, like, extra, it's going to cost you.
I think that system is as good as those implementing it are willing to make it. Sometimes that can be straight-up predatory.
Yeah.
Like there is no other way around it. That is a predatory system. But other times, it's not necessarily. If you can buy this item for $5, or you need 500 gold pieces, but you get half a gold piece for every hour you play. That seems a little fucked up to me. But if you can get it at a reasonable pace, then I see no problem with it. Like, but it's when you start getting into the sketchy, like, Skinner box psychological manipulation that I don't really care for it.
It seemed like it all started with mobile games, too.
That's probably the most casual gaming platform that has ever existed.
It's kind of weird, like, you think about, like, the people that encouraged this was just people who played games on their mobile phone or their mobile device. But yeah, they were cool with it. They're like, oh yeah, I'll pay for that. I want a purple coat this time. I'll pay.
Well, I want to recharge my energy meter. That way, I don't have to wait 30 minutes for no reason.
Yeah, people were that into it. They were like, holy shit, people are retarded. We can make a killing off of them.
You start hitting those addiction buttons. Absolutely. I mean, and then consoles and PC got into
already
it to a greater or lesser degree. I mean, it's. Because the mobile market is so brilliant because it's like death by 1,000 cuts.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's not you just charge them for little things that they keep buying. Because I mean, if you see something that costs $50, you're gonna be like, nah, I don't know about that. If you see something that costs $1.50, you might end up buying it 50 times. In which case, they just made more money.
Yeah, I guess it's all about like what you would consider worth it in that video game world too. Like I can see. I mean, like you said, the price factor is like the definite open door. Come on in, you know. Being just $1, you're like, hell, I'm having a good time. $1's nothing, you know.
Yeah, but $1 is nothing every time you do it, you know. Yeah. And there you go.
But yeah, I can't believe that people like were actually cool with that. I can kind of understand it with the mobile sit, but like to sit down in a chair in your recliner in your living room in your bedroom wherever your PlayStation's at, and to like want to pay $10 extra just because like you need a new skin or all this stuff. Really, I've never really done it. I refuse to do DLC in games. I really do.
Well, that depends. There are some there are some video games that use the DLC market as a legitimate way to tell, like Dark Souls. A lot of people believe I can't remember. I think it was the Artorias DLC that they believe that's the best part of that game. Is because the developers took what they had, they kind of honed it up a little bit more and released another. I have no problem with that. I just don't like people being able to buy things that give them advantages.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But there also is, I've heard some people say that the reason why they're willing to buy certain things is because they don't have as much time to game as they used to. They're adults, they have responsibilities, so they can't necessarily sit there and grind for 6 hours to get this thing anymore. So they drop $12.
That is crazy too, because the fact that they feel like their time is that valuable. Like, listen, I ain't got the time to, but I still want to fucking I want to build this fucking warehouse. So I can store my corn.
So I'm not wholly against it, just in and of itself. I say be wary of some of the business practices attached to it.
Yeah, I'm not totally against DLC. I like a good story DLC and stuff like that, and usually. Like Assassin's Creed, they got some story DLC, like an Atlanta storyline of like the Odyssey game, the one in Greece. That looks interesting, but I just can't see myself paying $20 more for it. It's an expansion pack, what PC used to do. They finally got to that bottom where they can release it in updates, but still.
Then there are games like the Star Wars Battlefront, or EA getting their shit, where they're essentially like they're charging you an entire full price for half a game, and then they're going to charge you a little more to release the other half of the game as DLC. I think that's where the season pass comes in.
That's kind of what I felt like when I bought the first Destiny.
Like, oh, dude, yeah, they were, yeah. Like they a guy I used to work with was like a diehard Bungie fanatic, but even he was getting a little bit chafed at some of the shit they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, like and the fact I think when Destiny came out, it was like $60. I remember buying it, and I had
it was a full price game. Absolutely, it was a full price AAA title.
Yeah, I had a great time with it. But then, like, I seen something else. I think like after the expansion pack came out, I tried to play my first copy of Destiny, and it wouldn't even let me play it because it said you have to have the Forsaken King or whatever to fucking proceed. I'm like, what?
See, I don't like that shit. That right there, that's when you start getting into.
They put a new lock on the door of the game,
but it's definitely what I think could be accurately called a dick move.
Totally,
it's like, I bought the fucking game. Let me play the game I bought.
Yeah, it totally should be illegal. I mean, to buy the game and then when they release an expansion pack or the last 2 expansion packs or whatever, they put a new lock on that license that you got, where you can't even play the game that you originally bought. That fucking shit pissed me off.
And then there was a game called Asura's Wrath, I think is what it was, where the actual ending of the game was in DLC.
Holy shit! I had no idea about
okay, maybe if you want to do, because I think there was also a really cool bit of DLC on Assassin's Creed 3 called The Tyranny of King George, I think, where like George Washington named himself king instead of president.
Oh,
and that sounds like a cool idea. Like, oh hell yeah, I can get behind that. That's a cool what if. I don't know if they'll handle it well, but it's a cool what if scenario. So it's like an alternate thing. But no, Asura's Wrath is like, hey nerd, you want to finish this game, nerd? Buy this DLC, nerd.
I'm really glad you liked the fucking game. I think you'd like to pay $15 more for maybe the ending that you really wanted.
Yeah. Oh, dude, speaking of the ending you really wanted, like Mass Effect 3, they got such backlash from their ending that they actually released like an alternate ending DLC, I believe.
Oh wow, I haven't beaten Mass Effect 3. That's the first two. Yeah, I went through. Great games, man. Like I don't know.
It looked like a lot
one.
of fun. They really did.
Yeah, that second one, dude. I just remember like just playing it and just having like everything felt like it had a consequence, which is what they wanted, because everyone dies at the end, if you don't make the right decisions or whatever decision you make actually affects, part of the narrative, which I think is awesome. I wish more games were like that.
Well, I mean, they kind of are. It just a lot of people they see a thing works and they just do that without understanding why it worked. They just see that, okay, all right, look, so that person getting hit in the face with a pie was funny, so now let's have a lot more people getting hit in the face with a lot more pie. You don't understand the setup to why that joke was funny. They just see the punchline and want that. And that's what a lot of games did with the like dialogue choices. Especially, I think Fallout 4 might be the best example where sometimes, no matter what you choose, it ultimately doesn't matter because then you end up getting to the same result. And that's, I would rather you not do it. Don't introduce dialogue like that if you don't plan on going through with it. It'd be a lot easier. I wouldn't hold it against you. My gripe is when people half-ass things. Like, don't half-ass it. Either do it or don't.
I just pulled up some article from the Azura's Wrath thing, dude. The Cinnamon Blend wrote this. They said,
"Was that the title? I got it right. All right, good deal."
Yeah, want the real ending to Azura's Wrath? Cough up $6.99. $7, $7 more to see.
And I believe that game cost $60 upon release. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was a AAA title or not, but it cost at least $40, at a minimum of $40.
Just judging by like the still frame of it, it looks like it was probably some God of War clone.
It was definitely what I've heard called a character action game, like one of those beat 'em up style Devil May Cry, God of War, Shaolin Monks. There's a game I want to see get remastered and re-released. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. You remember that shit?
I don't remember that one. I remember
it was on PlayStation 2. It was like this kind of like pulled back Devil May Cry style fighting game with not Shang Tsung, Kung Lao and Liu Kang, and you could run around beating people up. It was a really, really fun game. It was 2-player. It was awesome, man. They should redo that game. You never hear anything about that game. That's one of my favorite in the whole franchise.
Yeah, there was a few actually Mortal Kombat games that like I was thinking about. The most popular one was that Mythology Sub-Zero. That
was really, really strange. Like that, because they still set it up like it was a 2D Mortal Kombat game. It was just now kind of like a side scroller. It was so fucking strange, man. And then they had like the full motion video cutscenes.
Yeah, and it was like a platformer. It was so weird because it platformed and then into the fight. Because it was still that fucking 2D.
That was strange. That was such a strange that they chose to do it that way. I mean, and then of course there's that like Special Forces, which is kind of like a shooter beat 'em up game with Jax.
Yeah, that was the other one I was thinking about because I remember there was like a Sonya Blade one and Jax one. So it was
and that was legendarily bad.
Damn, dude.
And then there was Mortal Kombat versus DC. Don't forget about that one. The Proto Injustice.
Which one was it? I don't remember this one.
Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. It was when that was that crossover that like I don't think anyone ever asked for, where Mortal Kombat fighting DC characters. I wanted to see Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. That's what I wanted to see.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, the two giants.
I mean that really is. When it comes to like mainstream American fighting games. Now, of course, there's Soul Calibur and Tekken and King of Fight, but the big two in America, especially in the early to mid-'90s, were Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Yeah, speaking of one of those giants, man, Capcom, the Street Fighter guys, they were the ones that was behind the Azura's Wrath DLC.
Yeah, see, that's dirty. Like that no one should ever forget that. Like, that's one of those DLC things that people should hold in mind. It's like, who thought that was okay? I seriously, that had to be marketing. That had to be like that couldn't be. I hope that was not the actual like developers. because that's dirty as shit, man. Like that really is. That's just downright. That's a scummy thing to do.
I just pulled up some of the Shaolin monks. I thought it was funny, dude. They let you. It's funny. It's like, oh, choose Liu Kang or Kung Lao. This is cool though, because it kind of reminds me of what was that fucking game? The Evil Dead one. Not the.
Fistful of Boomstick.
Yeah, I think it was the second one, like the one that was more action oriented and not Resident Evil clone-ish or whatever, with the static camera angles and shit like that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with like that. I don't think Evil Dead was right for that kind of tank control. I think you would need to move around a bit more.
This Shaolin Monks is awesome. Actually looks pretty cool.
And eventually, once you beat the game, you could unlock different characters. So you could be Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They had their own moveset. They had their own fatalities and brutalities. You could do like team combos.
He's doing one right now to an enemy. He just cut someone in half. Like you actually had to input the button code.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and you end up getting I think like a health refill or some shit like that. But it was a blast, man. That game was amazing, and you could even have traditional Mortal Kombat style fights using that engine. So you could be like jumping around. It was a really cool idea that like no one ever seems to talk about, and I do not for the life of me understand why no one ever talks about that game.
Yeah, it's just one of those forgotten. I didn't even know it came out.
Yeah, it was a blast, man. I mean, and it's actually you can find, I believe, Mortal Kombat 2. The entire game could be found in Shaolin Monks. It's one of those classic Midway secrets. You could find you had to do a bunch of ridiculously, obtruse bullshit, then you could eventually unlock the full game, which is cool.
To the second Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So
I wonder who found that out though. That was a lot of work. I had to go on the internet.
That's actually pretty impressive for like the developer, like the game developer put that even in there.
Yeah.
Like they really cared and they went through it to make it like esoteric as fuck.
Well, I mean, and Midway has always been like that. I mean, they were definitely products of the arcade, of like the pre-internet or proto-internet. And people, because that was the reason why Ed Boon and John Tobias said they included so many crazy secrets was to encourage people to talk to one another. Hey, I found this. What'd you find? You can kind of get it going. Like I said, the internet was around then, but it didn't start gaining ubiquity until like the late 90s, mid to late 90s, and then of course it took off a lot from there. But 91 to 93, it was out there, but I mean, like how many people really had it?
Oh, God.
Like a small fraction of the population. And most of the people that had internet were probably like businesses or schools or, things of that nature. I don't know how many like private users there was, when our Lord and Savior Al Gore created the internet.
Yeah. I remember getting I think it was called Netscape. Like a little.
Yeah. Did you get the disc in the mail?
Yeah. And there was a floppy disk too.
Oh, holy fuck! AOL's still out. There is still dial-up internet out there.
That's wild, man. Like I just imagine the person that would think they had to have that. And if you have to have that, move. I would move to have better internet.
I think at least in America, I think you have to. That's by choice. I don't know how many places there are that just could not get modern internet. Like I'm sure maybe. Like some places in Alaska, but then again, I don't know if they'd be able to get dial-up internet either. They're so remote. I think it's by choice, dial-up at this point. I don't think anyone is forced to take that option anymore. I can't imagine that. Maybe in other parts of the world that aren't as as developed as America or England or something like that.
Yes, the rise of cell phones is pretty crazy too. I guess like even those people that. I mean, I had shitty cell phone service out in the boondocks and stuff like that. But now it's better than ever, I mean, this was like 2008 when I'm talking about. Now it's better than ever, and like you can get probably better internet service than you can with your shitty fucking AT&T DSL.
I almost guarantee so. I mean, we're pretty far into it now, man. We are. There's no disentwining us from the internet. Not without some cataclysmic shit happening.
Yeah, it's totally become like ingrained into our day to day.
Far, far, far too much.
It's wild. It really is. Hey,
Too much
if you
of the
watch it,
national infrastructure is built on something that is essentially very, very vulnerable.
yeah, it is. God, dude, we've like exposed ourselves so much too on the internet. You think about like, I mean, like we always had the phone book and stuff like that, as far as like, hey, your number's out or your address, but like the internet, man, it just seems even weirder because it's whoever had the phone book had it in that area. It wasn't like I'm just gonna be in California and a psycho, to find somebody that you or someone pissed you off or whatever, or you pissed someone off and they fucking went look crazy with it.
Yeah, it only gets deeper. Because see, we're in a very interesting position, you and I, in our generation. We were there for VCRs and even 8 tracks, and we were there when like the home computer was becoming the end thing. We were around for DVDs. We get to see this build up. So but we were born before that. We got that as we were growing into like young adulthood. But now we get to see the first generation who was born on the internet. And we're going to get to see the second generation. And I can't.
You can't foresee a generation after that. Because I don't know if I can or not. I don't know if I can foresee a generation after the second generation of the internet.
I mean, I think like they might get even deeper into it, or there might be a kind of rebellion where they actually pull back a little bit. I don't know. I'm not prepared to go totally pessimistic yet. Not yet.
That sounds very feasible. A fucking rebellion.
I mean, because people underestimate kids a lot. Like they're not. I mean, there are definitely a lot of sheep. I won't, deny that. But let's not forget about the essential rebelliousness of teenagers.
Oh God, yeah. Like I think my wife is having problems with that right now too. Like she don't know how to take it.
It seems like parents forget. Like that's another weird position I'm in is because I'm in my mid-30s, but I don't have children. So I'm, definitely an adult now, but at the same time, I still haven't really forgotten about that. I don't know. It's different when it's your own. I know that, but it seems like a lot of parents forget about how they were when they were teenagers.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, I never really thought of that.
It's just different now, but its difference kind of makes it the same.
Fucking Raiden right here on the Shaolin Monks cutscene looks funny as fuck. Yeah, if you watch some of the video version, John, like I put a Kelly Kapowski fucking poster up behind my TV. And then like I had some InfoWars stickers, so I just threw them on there. So if anyone don't like them, I can fucking remove them. I don't really care. I just wanted more stuff going on camera.
Got Kelly Kapowski, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. Let me tell you the story behind this too, because it's kind of interesting. It's not that interesting, but I went to help my my boss was giving away some like furniture or something, and so I wanted to get it for my mom, but I think like one of the boxes they were throwing away, I seen a rolled up poster in it, and I'm like, what the fuck are they throwing away? I mean, they're throwing away crazy shit, like fucking the graphic novel, the Walking Dead graphic novel, like the compendium, the $60 fucking.
Oh wow, man! Yeah, don't do that shit.
What is that, like a 3-inch book? I mean,
it's like it's got the compendiums. I believe have 48 issues each crammed into one thing. So yeah, they're like they look like school textbooks.
Yeah, I mean he was giving away stuff like that. So I seen this fucking that way they don't sound like I'm dumpster diving, but yeah, he was fucking. I seen this poster. I rolled it up. I said, holy shit. It's Kelly Kapowski. And I said, that's so random and so fucking nostalgic, man. I gotta have it for the show. So I wanted to put it up, but I got it behind the TV, so maybe you'll see it. But I was like, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, there's no way that she could, like, especially with, like, the fucking chicks that are on TikTok now. I mean, she would be, like, a total. What would you rate her now? Fucking Kelly Kapowski. Tiffany Amber Thiessen. What would you rate her now?
I'm trying to remember, like, some parts of her personality, because I remember what she looked like. She was always super cute. But I'm trying to remember...
I think when we was kids, man, I remember Kelly Kapowski and the Pink Ranger maybe being the cutest chicks on TV.
Yeah. Until I saw Summer Sanders on Figure It Out on
Oh, my
Nickelodeon.
God. Dude, I was thinking about that chick the other day. That sounds so crazy to say.
Yeah, I
don't remember
remember
what
it
she
being
looks
weird
like.
because I was like 10 or 11 years old, so I wasn't quite...
I was a little older than you.
Yeah, so yeah, you were a little
14.
further down the road, so I couldn't quite nail down what I was feeling, because it wasn't anything, like I say, I was still kind of prepubescent, but I was getting right on the edge there, and I was like, man, she's a lot of fun to look at.
Summer
Like, I
Sanders.
didn't kind of figure out what I was going for, but yeah, now I get it. I had a crush on Summer Sanders.
Yeah, dude, she was like so fucking cute. I'm trying to, yeah, I just pulled it up on YouTube. I want to see what she looked like. She didn't wear makeup
she was like
a
a former
all.
Olympic swimmer.
Yeah, I don't think she wore makeup barely at all because the swimming and she just got used to being photographed out. I think that's kind of what made her cute. Or maybe when she did put on a little makeup, like it just fucking amplified.
Yeah, definitely less is more when it comes to makeup for me anyway.
Oh, God, I can't stand a ton of makeup on a chick, dude. It is so fucking... It's just annoying. If a girl has to go through that much bullshit to present herself to the world, she's got problems. Brother, run! I
mean, that's just... Especially, like, the really, really red lipstick. I mean, some people can pull it off. Like, Marilyn Monroe can pull it off. Gwen Stefani can pull it off. But,
Summer Sanders is still cute as fuck. I wonder how old she is. She's got to be, like, 20 years older than me. No way.
I mean, I would say she's in her 40s. I wouldn't... Beyond that, I don't know... Because I don't know how old she was. Because, when you're 10, even someone who's 22 is a grown-up. But then when you're 22, you realize that you're still kind of how you were when you were 16. You know what I mean? Like, 22 seems a lot older when you're small. When you're that age yourself, you don't necessarily feel like an adult.
Oh, yeah, 22. Yeah, I agree.
At least that's what I found. Because, like that band, what was it called? Lit? That My Own Worst Enemy?
Yeah.
Like, when I was a kid, I remember thinking, like, okay, these are grown-ups singing this song. But as I was in my, mid-20s, I was like, man, they're fucking glorified teenagers. They're, 23 years old right here,
Yeah, they were, really.
It's just so wild how the perspective changed. It's happened a lot. Like, that's why I'm not really into Stained anymore, because I'm no longer 16, but that music stayed 16.
That's true.
Like, it's mode of expression, which is weird when you think about that. They were our age when they were doing that. So I just have to wonder if that's like Arrested Development there.
Yeah, Lit especially. You wonder it with them too, because they look old as fuck. Like the guys from Lit, let me see if I can pull them up. But even, I remember when they burst out. I want to say we looked it up one time too. Like, didn't they start in 1988?
I think, now that you mentioned it, that they were around for a lot longer than we thought they were. Like, holy shit, man. You guys were like 10 years old when they got big.
Yeah. Yeah, they were fucking... I imagine Lit being a prodigy. But it is crazy, though. Yeah, they looked old as fucking... I guess My Own Worst Enemy was, like, their biggest hit.
I mean,
Ziploc
if you said, name
cool.
a Lit song, that's the only one I got.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's their biggest or not.
That's true. I agree with that. Because I like Ziploc, but I totally forgot about that song.
See, I've never even heard of that. I might have heard it, but just the name Ziploc, I did not know that was a Lit song.
Yeah, you totally forgot it. It was everywhere. It was like,
okay, yeah, one of those
songs. I put it in a Ziploc bag and keep it in my pocket.
Just like I would not name a song of mine after a fucking product.
Yeah, that's the teenager in them. Like you said, the Arrested Development. That's the Arrested Development.
Thumbing their nose at the corporate oligarchy, I guess. Ziploc, bitch. I'm gonna put it in a bag. Make that shit fresh.
It's so weird too. Okay, because when you Google Lit, you mainly get the they're all dressed weird, like in these 70s outfits. Looks like something out of the Beastie Boys, sabotage video.
Oh yeah, that was a great video.
You kind of got that, and then you got like some like their first, or not their first album, but that album with actually had a lot of hit songs on it. I can't remember what it was called. A Place in the Sun, because that's the one with like Ziploc, My Own Worst Enemy, all that shit was on here. But yeah, it's like some Marilyn Monroe ass shit, like them old style bathing suits, which are like not sexy as fuck, but in a way kind of sexy as fuck for some reason. Like those old style bathing suits, like Marilyn Monroe. It's weird.
The one piece dealios.
It is so weird.
Well, I mean, that it was also at the time that was incredibly risque.
Oh yeah, yeah. You think about it too, like especially if you have no frame of reference, like because back in the day, like a mom and dad, when you would go to like Leave It to Beaver, like the Cleavers' rooms, the dude would be gay. In today's age, oh, mom and dad, you sleep in twin beds.
Yeah, that's what a weird like hang up, because it's just like look, they have children.
Yeah, well,
if they have two children, we can guarantee they've had sex twice. Like we don't need to play these games, man.
What I'm wondering too, like, do you think grandmas and grandpas used to have separate beds? Because when I look at TV, it's kind of not really, but it's kind of a reflection of our life. And so I'm like, did grandmas and grandpas sleep in different beds? Mine didn't. I know for sure mine didn't. But it's weird. Actually, one of my grandparents didn't, but the other two did. One slept on one side of the house, the other slept on the other.
Well, that might have been kind of an armistice agreement there.
Oh, shit. That's probably what I'll be fucking find myself in, too. Now it all makes sense.
That's such a weird point in Hollywood, though. Or not Hollywood, just in TV land. Like that, the twin beds and that whole father's knows best thing.
Yeah. The TV land stuff, man, is crazy. That movie, fucking Wonderland, is almost perfect to, like, just, crystallize it.
The John Holmes, Val Kilmer, John Holmes thing?
Oh, shit. No, not that one. Sorry. Fuck, what was that movie called with fucking Tobey Maguire? Pleasantville?
Pleasantville,
yeah. That's the one. I said Wonderland. Yeah, that was a cool movie, too, in a way. I wouldn't mind actually watching that again. The John Holmes, Val Kilmer.
Okay, so it was about okay, yeah, but Pleasantville, that was that was actually I haven't seen that movie in a while. I might have to go look into that. That was that film where the lady masturbated the tree on fire.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that because like they were like modern teenagers, Tobey Maguire, and I think it was Reese Witherspoon, his sister, which just so stupid for like a casting person to do that. Like, you say, okay, Tobey Maguire, you're going to be Reese Witherspoon's brother. You're like...
Yeah, that's definitely not something you would consider a familial pair, I don't think.
Yeah. But that was the sibling rivalry in that movie. It's like, dude, are y'all foster kids? But anyways, yeah, that was like... They got introduced into that old world, so didn't they come in color? I can't even remember how they fucking came into that fucking world.
No, they showed up in the black and white, but as their non-conformist, ideas started sticking, things started coming in color.
Doesn't some chick like get her pussy eaten, and then she blooms into color? I guess that would be like, I can't even think of the right word.
Well, the one I'm thinking of is Pam Landy from The Bourne Identity, or the Bourne movies. She played the mom, and she masturbated in a bathtub, and when she came, like a tree burst on fire, and then she was in color.
Yeah, that some of that movie just seems like
it's very subtle there,
Yeah, incredibly. Walk lightly.
But I'd actually like to go back. I'm not sure how heavy-handed that movie would be, because the whole modern political thing has kind of shaped some of my sensibilities, and occasionally it even threatens to rob me of my sense of humor, and I simply will not tolerate that.
What is this now?
Well, just like just because with the climate the way it is now and how everybody points fingers and, you know, and you have to make sure that you're diverse and, you know, all that good stuff. And going back on some other films, some films that might have a heavy-handed message, right? Like, I'm sure that Pleasantville, I don't recall exactly, but I'm sure there's racism. I'm sure there's sexism. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there are all these things that have become hot-button issues in the last 5 or 10 years, and some of which have chafed me raw. So now I see something, and instead of, you know, just laughing it off, I get irritated at it. I don't like that. I got to be careful. My sense of humor is the only thing that protects me from complete and total madness.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, it really, you know, political ideology has infused itself into almost every aspect of our life.
Yeah, and
I mean, even to the
in very unhealthy ways, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can go buy a box of pancake powder, and if it's got a black person on it, people are freaking out. It's crazy. I mean, it's pancake powder.
Really strange.
Yeah. It's like, well, what's your problem with with me having this black person on it?
I saw a meme that was pretty funny about the Land O'Lakes butter, how they got rid of the Indian but kept the land.
Dude.
And that shit, so it's like fucking commercial colonialism all over.
Holy shit, that's hilarious, dude.
And it's just one of those things that you just can't help but be like, very good. Didn't even mean to. Like, they did it again. Fucking 250 years down the pipe. They got rid of the Indian, but they kept all that land. That's the only thing they ain't making any more of.
I want to try to share my screen with you. Let's watch the Chris Weidman leg break, at least before my phone dies. Let me see if I can figure this out. I can't remember how to do this. Oh, yeah, present now. I think it's a window, best for video and animation. Yeah, this is the one. Look at it. Do you remember the Anderson Silva one?
Yeah, that was fairly gruesome.
Yeah, oh my God. I felt his pain. Like stepping back on your foot, you know, after you threw a kick. You're like, oh yeah, I just fucking hurt you. And then you step back and you're like, my foot's broken.
I mean, at first, I don't even think that it would come in. You would probably, like, feel something and then go to step back and just collapse and then look and then see that leg and just, you know, I mean, I just can't help but imagine it would fucking blow. You wouldn't even be able to process it for a minute.
For some
reason. They call it shock for a reason, you know?
My fucking thing's playing. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I was playing some other video. and taking a while to do it, I might add.
Well, it was like a 2.5 hour video. Oh, they already took it down.
Yeah, that's crazy. Already.
I'm not surprised. That's why I downloaded that Jake Hall Ben Askren fight as quickly as I could, because I was almost certain they would take that shit down, but I don't think they did.
Oh, here's the reaction from Anderson Silva. I wonder if it's actually legit.
Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if we just started laughing?
It's terrible. Oh, here's a fucking thumbnail of it. Look at Silva's. The fact that it looks Gumby. Silva's looks freaky, but Chris Weidman's looks terrible. Oh, here we go. We got a little bit of shit going on. Like, his is almost folded up to his kneecap.
It's just, dear God, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick you. Oh, shit, I broke my own leg. What the fuck?
And then, especially when you, like, think, you see those Thai videos, those dudes, like, kicking down banana trees, and you see this, and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, that's probably why they're probably kicking them trees. So they can, like, I don't know, I mean, I doubt fucking, you ever seen, like, Tony Ferguson kick that steel beam? There's not many motherfuckers that, like, will fucking condition their leg not to break. I guess that's
not to that extreme degree, anyway.
That's got to be the only reason they'd be, like, kicking trees, like those Thai motherfuckers.
You turn yourself into a weapon. I mean, like, yeah, absolutely. A good Thai low kick, I imagine, probably feels like getting whacked with a Louisville Slugger. Like, I mean, those things, that they are designed, you know, like that, not designed, they evolve, you know, they adapt their bodies to become literal weapons. And think about it, like, a good Thai low kick might be one of the most effective strikes we have, because I mean it's a kick, so it engages the quadricep, the giant muscle in the thigh.
Oh yeah.
You can get your entire body into it. You know, I mean, it just
Probably.
Oh my God, you land one of those things, man, and you can divide. Like I said, you can divide your life into 2 points: before I got kicked in the leg and after I got kicked in the leg.
And really, like,
that shit changes you.
The thigh muscle too is probably. I mean, even without working out, your thigh is probably the most biggest muscle on your body.
Oh, it absolutely is. It might not be the strongest muscle on somebody's body, depending on like if they work out and what they do. But your quadricep is by far the largest muscle on your body. Your latimus or pectoral might come close, but the quadricep is the biggest.
But yeah,
because it's attached to the largest bone, the femur, the thigh bone.
Yeah, that impact hitting you in the leg and the face.
Yeah, I mean that's why Thai, when it came into UFC or when it came into mixed martial arts in the beginning, that the people who practiced Muay Thai, like legitimately practiced it, were so devastating because I mean, I don't care how good a wrestler you are. If I start laying those kicks into you and you don't know how to check it, you don't know what to do about it, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to shoot in on me. And if you do, you're not going to be able to power through me because I have Charlie Horse the entire right leg of your body.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's gnarly, man.
Yeah, that would be actually terrifying. Because, like, your head and your upper body don't have quit yet, but your legs are fucking dead.
Yeah, and then once your opponent programs you with that kick, now every time you see his knee twitch, you're going to do something foolish. You're going to try to mitigate that force, and if the guy's clever, he might go up top. That's something I learned that once you start eating a certain kind of shot over and over, once you get the tell for that happening, you go to defend yourself, and you might try to defend yourself in a way that's not necessarily beneficial. Like I remember sparring, and I kept taking shot to the right side of my ribs, and it got to the point where I'd try to drop my elbow down to defend it, and that ended up getting me tagged in the side of the head because I dropped my right elbow down to defend it, and I left my face open. So I mean, but a Thai kick, I mean, that can just shut somebody down. Like that's when there was a noise after the McGregor-Mayweather fight about how, okay, now let's do it with kickboxing rules. If Floyd does it, he's an idiot. Oh, Conor will fucking destroy him if it's a kickboxing match. Floyd Mayweather has no answer to that.
Conor's so loose with his kicks, too. A lot of people don't give him credit for it and stuff like that, but, like, he just, like, flicks them out there, man. Like, yeah. I can't remember which fight it was, but there's a fight where he opens with, like, a 360 kick. It's so crazy, and it looks so fluid.
Like, and he has, like, a surprising range for a guy his size. Like, his kicks look rangy. They look like they can reach out at you.
Yeah, like, they come out of nowhere, too. They would totally, like, I think if they landed, it would totally be a flash. And then he could tag you with this fucking left hand, and you would be dead.
And even if Floyd was, able to, like, kind of keep out of harm's way for the most part, every single time he got kicked, that would shut him down a little more. Like nothing against Floyd Mayweather. He's one of the greatest boxers ever to put the gloves on. But he is not he's not a kickboxer. He does not have anything. It's like you can be the greatest wrestler in the world, but if you go into jiu-jitsu, you're going to get choked unconscious. There's actually a technique in wrestling that has gotten me put into a rear naked choke. And I mean, I didn't get choked, got a tap because it was just a friendly spar. But it was when somebody has your back in amateur wrestling, what you'll do is you'll sit out. So you'll sit on your ass and then kind of try to roll away because you don't have to worry about giving up your back in wrestling. Your whole point is to stay off your back. So if you can be like, I can be on my stomach and you can be trying to run a half or something on my back. But in jiu-jitsu, if I give you my back and you know what you're doing, you're going to get a rear naked choke or transition to an arm bar, anything. You're going to base off of that. So I was trying to sit out, and next thing I know, I felt fucking legs go around my hips, and I got grapevine, and I felt that arm under my chin, and I knew that it was tap or take a nap.
Yeah.
But Floyd would not have any answer to Conor's kicks. I don't think it would go past the second round, if that long.
He fought that I want to say he was like a kickboxing prodigy or something like that. Either that or he was like such a lightweight kickboxer. But the dude was like knocking people out. Like, I think Floyd's fight with like that Mariana guy. I think that's his name, Mariana. But he was like a power puncher, but in like a lower weight class. And that dude fucking hit. Like, when he hit you, it was like a car hit you. You would just drop. Like, some of his
Some people
knockouts
have
are
that, man.
amazing. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a dude I seen on Reddit the other day. He like broke some bricks, and like he had that 1 inch punch. You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing this shit and he was breathing out, but he had that 1 inch punch where he could focus. I guess all that kinetic energy. You know, right? The only thing I can think of would be the elbow and maybe the forearm.
It's everything. No, it's the toes, the hips.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
a 1 inch punch. You're hitting like the goal is to hit from the center of the earth. You know,
actually, that
like
makes sense.
you want to just because it's a whip. It's basically it's like an anatomical whip.
That is crazy. The fact that he could yeah, I could see that too, because that's where it would start. It would start really even in your toes.
And especially in your toes. Like you got to think about like how
pop out.
Yeah, you use that a lot. I mean, there's a reason why you can mess your feet up like fighting. That's another reason why Muay Thai is so brutal to outsiders because they train on concrete barefooted. But I mean, yeah, it's like a 1 inch punch. You could really say he has to generate chi, and that would not be incorrect. If you think of chi as force, then it would be chi. I mean, and that kind of blast, man.
Oh my god. Yeah, if I can find it, I'll send it to you. But it's crazy. I'll share it on the fucking RiotFARM page too on Facebook. If you're fucking out there, fucking join the Facebook page. Maybe one day we'll do call-ins if anyone's actually watching this. I'm trying to share this and see if it plays. This is the Chris Weidman leg break. But yeah, that dude totally fucking had chi power. He was like a fucking monk. You would have to like learn. He would be like under his tutelage to learn. Let me like mute mine, I guess. Holy shit. It's so gross. Even when you miss it, just how they fall. It's so gross, dude. Oh shit, just like Silva. I like Uriah Hall's reaction. Uriah Hall, man, dude's a dark horse. Like, he fucking knocked out Mousasi. I mean, he got dominated by him the second fight. And he kind of, was in it a little bit. But he's just on or off, this Uriah Hall kid. But he's on a tear right now.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. I just can't stand how they fall, dude. Like, when they fall, it's like they have no idea their legs broke. Because I guess it happens in a split second. You know? Yeah,
your mind, it takes a second to catch up. Shit like that happens so quickly, you have, like, jet lag. You can't get there yet.
Here it goes.
Closes a slight plus 105 betting underdog for DraftKings Sportsbook.
Oh, shit.
That sound.
He knows, dude. Look at him. Just
that
up. He's
sound,
like, oh, fuck.
You know what that reminds me of? That sound reminds me of one of those pro wrestling leg slaps.
Oh shit, dude! It's so Gumby. It's gross, dude. Holy shit! I wish I could find like fucking Street Jesus or fucking knockout too. Street Jesus, that fucking, I'm telling you, the sweat just fucking, it goes the opposite direction of his head. That fucking knockout looks so bad. And it's like, you dumbass, you had your fucking hands low? Were you like fucking taking a dive and this was it? You're like, okay, I'm gonna hold my hands low. It almost seems like that. It's like,
I mean, I think he just got a little too far up his own ass. I mean, because he's a legitimate tough guy, like, really is. I think he just got to thinking too much about that.
Maybe that's where it goes into, like, because you watch like you was talking about the backyard fucking fights with fucking Jorge Masvidal, and you see him, and, like, he's fighting these dudes, and he's got his hands up constantly. The motherfucker walks forward with his hands up. And it's like, I don't know, I guess the more you get, I mean, everyone probably will drop their hands too.
Well, I think it kind of reminds me. I believe Joe Frazier said it, but definitely one of those old school champs. I believe I can quote them. I can't. I think it was Joe Frazier, but it's really hard to get up and jog at 5 a.m. every morning when you're wearing silk underwear.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to get out of that bed.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I think maybe something like Jorge Masvidal. I mean, he's like I say, he's the proud owner of the fastest knockout in UFC history.
Oh yeah,
and a very definitive knockout. I mean, like he's a legitimate hard boy, and he gets in there, and maybe he didn't take dude serious and was talking some shit, and guy boot the snoot.
And like getting like more money than ever, really, Masvidal. He's probably.
I would have to imagine, yeah.
Never gotten more money, yeah. Especially he's got the bad motherfucker belt.
I mean, because no matter what, someone. Because that's what, like, with Kimbo Slice, the guy was not. He was a hell of a brawler, but he was not a good fighter. Mm-hmm. But I have nothing but respect for the guy because he would fight you, anyone, anywhere.
Oh yeah,
he would do it simply because he wanted to. Like, he wasn't making money. I mean, he was probably making a little bit of money, but I doubt he was pulling in massive paydays. I mean, that time he fought that giant cop. That one where it goes to like a no contest or a draw.
Yeah, I actually watched that.
Yeah, I had too. How much money do you think he made off that?
That's nothing.
Really.
And that was like a total exhibition of heart. Watching those two dudes fight, those dudes.
They went at it.
Yeah, they didn't have any quit in them, and you kind of see that too with who was it, Dada 5000? I think
something like that. Yeah.
I think Dada said he had a heart attack in the octagon. Well, I think theirs is different because it's like, but yeah, they had when they fought, dude, I want to say there were some health issues going on.
I believe that was the claim he made, that he had a heart attack. And it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, because like the guy, he's trained, but he's not really trained.
Yeah.
And you look at him, and he was not you don't necessarily have to be like shredded and ripped and defined. All you have to do is look at someone like, Roy Nelson.
Yeah.
Or even hell, Cardio Kane. As long as it's sea level Kane. But like, I mean, so you don't have to be ripped to really, be able to fight. But he was a big, soft guy. I mean, he hit hard and he was willing to go, but he was not a specimen.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even Kimbo looked like the kind of guy that would beat the shit out of you and take your cigarettes in the yard. But
yeah, he was definitely scary. He had the fucking huge. They say he was a total sweetheart, though. I don't know.
I mean, like, when you're that, like, what does he have to prove? I mean, I don't see how you would have to really act like a badass when you're clearly a badass. Then you could act however you wanted to, and because you're a badass, that would be how a badass would act.
There was a guy, too, from, like, I want to say it was one of the Ultimate Fighters. It was a heavyweight season with Matt Mitrione and Brandon Schwab. Brain dumb. But, dude, have you ever seen the Fighter and the Kid subreddit? Oh my god, dude. It is funny. They just shit on Brandon Schaub.
Oh yeah, I hear about that from watching like Joe Rogan podcasts.
Yeah, them too. They just got like a slew of people. They just fucking just shit on it. It's pretty humorous or whatever. But yeah, Brandon Schwab and all them. But it was on that season, that same season of The Ultimate Fighter, and the dude, I think he said like he was an ex-pro football player. So he had, like, explosive power, and he's athletic, of course. But anyways, he got in, like, Matt Mitrione's face, and, like, he was screaming mad. It was pretty intimidating. Matt Mitrione was just, like, looking at the ground like, shit. Like, I'm kind of scared to hit this guy, because he would probably beat my ass. But he was this big black dude, and he was, like, a botanist and shit like that. Like, he fucking cared for plants. It was totally crazy. It was a total opposite of what you're like.
That reminds me of fucking, oh my god, Hightower from Police Academy. He was a florist.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. Like he was always on The Ultimate Fighter talking about his plants. My plants miss me. Shit like that, dude. It was crazy. Fuck. Well, dude, I think my phone's about to die, and I would like to go out like or ceremoniously as opposed to like when
Yeah,
it fucking
definitely.
dies. It's not too
Want to
bad.
avoid that whenever possible.
Let's see. But yeah, that fucking Chris Weidman break was bad. I mean,
that was not good.
I mean, it was a mirror image of the Anderson Silva stuff. Like, it's actually pretty fucking crazy, actually, that happened to him. And he said the same shit happened to Stone Cold Steve Austin, too.
It's something similar, yeah, with a pile driver botch. It happened down the road. That is crazy.
Yeah, fucking, it is wild, man. Fucking shit repeats itself.
There's only so many things that can happen when you start getting into truly large numbers. Probability kind of goes out the window a little bit.
What was that George Lucas's fucking prequel trilogy writing style? I can't even remember what it's called. Ring poetry or whatever. Or Everything Rhymed. I can't remember what it was.
I remember that clip. It kind of became a meme. Yeah.
It makes sense in this part because it's like, damn, that happened to you too? I can't even go out. Let's see. I want to go out. You want to pick a song? I was thinking about putting up that new Trotty Ford, man. One day I'm actually going to fucking focus on this shit.
It's been a while since we've gave him some views.
Dude, for real. Because, like, this new song they put out, they had, like, 15 MCs minimum or something. Dude.
Well, I hope they had a lot of cold beer.
I think they cut that part out. That's what's so bad about it. Let me see if I can find it.
You gotta appreciate the meme, man. That was right there for the taking.
Oh my god, yeah, it totally was. Man, I almost want to watch the first one just to go. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I want to watch the first one. Let's see the cold beer.
That really just as soon as I heard that, I don't know why I started laughing, but that immediately. I don't even think I've ever heard that song the whole way through. I'm really, really familiar with like the first 45 seconds.
I'm gonna present it now, man. And we're gonna go fucking Trotty Ford. Yeah, this is it. Cold beer. Watch for the fucking meme, and it is a meme, dude. Everyone I've shown it to, this is the part that they remember the most.
Yeah,
Cold
and
beer.
it was organic, so they should run with that shit.
Yeah, it's great. It is. It's the most realistic part, really. It really is. I guess
Which is crazy because it comes after a patently ridiculous part with the beer can pyramid.
I think he even says this guy's whole name too. Hey man, you want to go to Christopher Michael Witt's house or whatever the guy's name is? I can't remember.
It was Chris Brown, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chris. Was it Chris Brown? No way. I think. Okay, holy shit.
What shall I do today? Well, this is Sunday, Monday. And why we call Chris Brown that shit? Can't go wrong. You can call him, but.
Holy shit. Hang on, I gotta do it.
Morning, sweetheart. What's going on? What's up?
So,
I was trying to see if you want to go rock. Hi, man. Yeah, I got cold beers waiting all night for you, brother. Cold beer. I'll be there in 10. 10-4. Sounds good.
holy shit. Shades of Georgia. This is RiotFARM. Josh him out. John, thanks for being on the show, dude. I'll see you.